الاتحاد كان طريق سمح ومرغوب ومتبوع بالسهالة وبالخير، والله سبحانه وتعالى ساعدنا على الكثير من الصعاب، ولا علينا ألا نحمد الله ونشكره ونثني عليه.
نحن بخير بسندنا واخواننا وعوننا وذخرنا ابناء هذه البلاد الغاليه. وما دام هذه الروح موجوده وما دام هذا التفاني موجود، مستقبلنا ان شاء الله في هذه البلد توفيق من الله وهمتكم بخير ولا تشيلون هم.
Excellencies, dignitaries, peace be upon you. We are happy in Emirates Center for Strategic Studies and Research, and in a series of Abu Dhabi Emirates thinkers, we receive one of the great nation's figures, Dahi Khalfan At-Tamimi, Deputy Chief of Police, Dubai, UAE, from Empowerment to the Future. This is the title. He is well known, but it's good to shed some lights on the profile of His Excellency. Now he is the Deputy Chief of Police of Dubai, and he is the executive member of Dubai government and the chief of the police chiefs in the Interior Ministry and anti-drugs, also directorate in the ministry. He was honored by several local and regional international bodies. In 2010, he was chosen, nominated as the second influencer in the Arab world from ArabianBusiness.com. In 2004 also, he was awarded the best executive in the Middle East, and 2002 he was awarded the United Nations for the best Arab figure in combating drugs. In 1983 he was the best director in the administrative area in the GCC. He is authored in police. He has a crime book, he is the author of the crime book in the police. But as for general topics, many books and publications: Rashid, the March and Bill Construction, the Soft Power in the Leadership of Zayed. In 2018, he is interested in environment, and he is now occupying the head of the Supreme Committee of planting 1 million tree. May the soul of late Khalifa rest in peace, and we are very proud, and we are having a great vision for the future under the leadership of His Highness President of the UAE, Mohamed bin Zayed. It is a clear message of how a leader can leave an influence all the march and the progress, and how the others can retain the favor, whether lieutenant, soldier, officer, commissioned officer, or whoever, no matter what is his position. They always kiss his head in return of favor, not only in the police department, but in other entities and departments. My first visit to the department, I couldn't have that chance, but whenever I would visit him again, I would put a kiss on his head in respect for this man who is really and truthfully one of the great figures in UAE, not in as a courtesy, but it is a reality. You are welcome, Your Excellency, and we leave the floor to you to talk about the topic. In half an hour, then we will go for discussion. Peace. In the name of Allah, thank God, and prayers on Prophet Muhammad. Dr. Sultan, I am happy to allow me this chance and choose me as a speaker, one of many, to talk about an important topic, UAE from empowerment to future. Thank you, Dr. Sultan, for this nomination to talk on this issue, and I consider this a gift that I was gifted this chance, and I hope that in the time given to me to enrich the dialogue today on this aspect with God's blessing. In the empowerment phase, when we are talking about Sheikh or late Khalifa, God's mercy on him, or Mohammed, both are an interesting topic to talk about, because we are talking about two figures, exceptional in leaders, long experience, long expertise. Allow us to talk about the empowerment. Who raised this word, this concept, and said that Khalifa is the master of empowerment? My Lord Mohammed bin Zayed, when he, in his obituary to his late brother Khalifa, he mentioned the word of empowerment, and nobody was attentive to this word. And in his obituary to late Khalifa, he indicated that the leader of empowerment, and indicated in his talk or in his obituary the death of the Arab and Islamic nation on the passing away of late Sheikh Khalifa. May God rest his soul and dwell him in the paradise. And be blessed, my master president of UAE, and we are happy that he is now taking leadership. He mentioned this concept of empowerment, and I started to make my researches. And Sheikh Khalifa, late Sheikh Khalifa, was a stamp, a signature in empowerment. And you will see in a while the meanings of this. What is empowerment? If we define empowerment, what is empowerment? Empowerment is a process of finding enablers for individuals, groups, to change resources into decisions to achieve the desired objectives. If you don't give me enablers, how can I achieve my objectives and ideas? If you don't give me confidence, I'll not be able. So the question is, the late Sheikh Khalifa, may his soul rest in peace, was he really a leader of empowerment? Now let's review this. In the phase of empowerment, we noticed that he appointed Mohammed bin Zayed the crown prince. When he was the president of UAE, he named Mohammed bin Zayed as crown prince. No doubt that this empowerment, we saw a tweet for Sheikh Mohammed 2 years ago, tweeting that we are all behind you. Go ahead, Mohammed bin Zayed. That was a hint that Mohammed bin that Khalifa bin Zayed granted Mohammed bin Zayed leadership, but Mohammed bin Zayed did not want to take that position while late Sheikh Khalifa was sick. And president of UAE then was late Khalifa. And this means that late Sheikh Khalifa, before his passing away, he enabled and granted Mohammed bin Zayed the power to lead the country and enabled him to manage the state so that things will go as it should be. And he had great confidence in the leadership of Mohammed bin Zayed to the state. Thus, indeed, he is a man who enabled young leaders. As you see, all of the ministers leading the government in the country, if we look at their ages, they are still young. If we look at 2005, they are all young. They were young at that time. So young leaders were given ministerial positions during Mohammed bin Zayed's whether in the foreign ministry, prime minister issues, crown prince, in all the ministries, we had young leaderships. These are sheikhs. No, not only sheikhs. We have ordinary citizens. They took leading positions, ministers. Couldn't we find, for example, qualified senior people to be appointed? Yes, we have such people, but the point out of appointing young ministers is to enable our young citizens and enable them and give them the opportunity to achieve their ambitions, because young leaders are ambitious and they have lots of momentum. All sheikhs, for example, Mohammed bin Zayed, he took the armed forces while he was young. So when Sheikh Khalifa enabled youth, whether sheikhs or citizens, he gave them the power, the confidence, the potentials to achieve their duties the best possible way. Late Sheikh, also regarding the empowerment of women in the National Council, 50%. This rate was 50%, and this is a leading decision, whether in the Arab world or in the international arena. Women leaderships also took ministerial positions, and they became the Supreme Council of the Union. It is now the speaker is a woman in the Arab world. It is now led, the speaker of the council or of the UAE parliament is a woman, and this is a precedent. In this part of the world, when you give confidence to a woman to be the speaker of the parliament, this is not an easy thing in empowerment in full meaning. So if we look at the stages of empowerment, the axis of these empowerment, we have political empowerment, economic empowerment, administrative empowerment, social and scientific empowerment. These are the most important axes for empowerment. And this empowerment was allowed to our young generations in 2005, and the political empowerment was launched by late Sheikh Khalifa, and people now say that UAE is now progressed, advanced, and things are different in UAE compared to other countries. We don't say this, others saying this bring us that Emirati leader to lead and direct our country. I will not mention any country. Many people wish our leaders to manage and preside over other countries. No, not only individual empowerment, but also groups. And this comes from the strategic plan, the government strategic plan that was launched by Sheikh Khalifa, late Sheikh Khalifa in 2005, Sheikh Khalifa Ward, and in participation. You know what is strategic planning? That this means that the minister or the director will make a plan and take the top seniors, middle, and low and ordinary citizens to participate in the plan. So in UAE, we have popular participation, even with other partners inside and outside the country, because this partnership is very important for strategic plannings, because they all lead to the empowerment. The minister puts the strategic plans, but this will involve all the staff in the ministry. Thus, we advanced because we have empowered the individuals and the groups that was given to us under the program launched by Sheikh Khalifa, may his soul rest in peace. Now we come to the economic empowerment. This empowerment gave the Emirates, for example, today we have a project support fund for the youth, of course. This helped or empowering the youth in entrepreneurships and give them chances and opportunities to have their own businesses. Legislations also were amended and changed to allow for such enablers, because as you know, legislations are enablers for women youth, because women before, for example, could not work, but now she is working in parallel with man. This project fund established by Sheikh Khalifa with the capital of 10 billion UAE's dirhams. This is great empowerment in the economic field. Not many countries have this, and not many countries will avail this for their youngs to start their businesses and be in the business sector. We are lucky, Brother Sultan, brothers and sisters attending. We are lucky that we have leaders that are enabling us to, in such conditions, administrative empowerment, as I said, made this administrative empowerment made us the planners, the founders, the initiative makers to take the plunge, and that caused administrative overhaul and reforms. Administrative, before I lived the two phases. When the director was he was the one-man show. He was taking all decisions, but now we are participating in decision-making process. This is not only for the director. So powers were given to the ministers. Before, the ministers did not have any power or financial mandate or administrative mandate, for example, to perform their duties. When they refer to Sheikh Khalifa to give powers in the financial issues for the ministers, and to get rid of this routine and bureaucracy, Sheikh Khalifa gave them that power. Social empowerment. If we notice, for example, during the pandemic, who did not take the vaccines? That in the most advanced and most human rights respecting countries. So the health of the citizens was a national responsibility. So drugs were given for free to all the citizens. where the other countries were charging the citizens for the vaccines. UAE provided this for the citizens for free. Thus, they couldn't, and the people in other countries, they could not have that vaccines because either on the waiting list or because the money is exorbitant and couldn't afford it. So people here, whether citizens or expats, had the vaccines for free and in simplistic procedures and for free. For example, billions of billions were allocated to build houses. Billions were allocated for the citizens. I was reading one time in the newspaper that 36 billion for building houses for citizens in Abu Dhabi, Dubai, and other Emirates the same. So we are this empowerment of the family to be in a stable family and to be socially, familially comfortable. This is extremely important. As for the scientific empowerment, you have noticed this, all of you have noticed this. We could, that our sons to commence, whether in satellites, probes, even astronaut who went to the space with others to discover the space. As astronaut who is Hazza al-Mansouri, we saw, no, this is not, if we go back to the dates for it, during the pandemic, if you notice that the dates in 2009, Dubai Sat, 2013, 2014, 2015, 17, 19, 20, these dates in which our youth had their experience in the scientific field. When I am talking to you, you have to coordinate all of these, coordinate this with other countries and launch the probe on time and arrive on time as promised. This is empowerment for our youth in communication with other leaders of other countries, because this will go to from the launch area. So this needs coordination, organized work, great empowerment, so that no delay. Now our sons, Umran, he undertook, and we wish him the best, Umran Sharaf, also in the space. So in Khalifa's face and Rain, we found empowerment for citizens or expats in all sectors, whether in the social, scientific, administrative, economic, or political. All these sectors were empowered by our children, and all this change are led by young leaders. So if you look, for example, at the team responsible for launching the probe, whether from the leader Sarah At-Tamimi, they were responsible for this project. So we talked about the empowerment of late Sheikh Khalifa for the young generations and the locals, male or females. Whatever we say will never be enough. because late Sheikh Khalifa was aware that the younger generation were able and have the potential to lead the country. Now we are at the threshold of a new reign. These moments, now we are standing at the threshold of a new reign. But what is the future? Future, some would define, is from now up to later. From the time Sheikh Mohammed took leadership and onward. But if we assess a figure like Mohammed bin Zayed, can we just make it and limit this to the past, to the future, or now? Or we look at the history of such a figure? Let's talk about some points and important phases. That is before he was president, when he was crown prince. What did he say? What did Mohammed bin Zayed say? He said our oil will end in 50 years. Many regimes will not be active, will not be proactive. They will be just passive. Did you ever hear of? Did you have ever heard hear a president who said that after 50 years we will have a problem and let's now think of a solution ahead? What does that mean? That Sheikh Mohammed had that long-term vision to see the future, to see the leader who sees far away things. Some are nearsighted, but other leaders are far-sighted. They can see deep in the future, such as our great leaders like Sheikh Mohammed. They see far reaching into the future. Short-term, medium-term, mid-term are something easy, but the long-term, that is a challenge. So we are before a leader who is able to see deep in the future, has deep vision in the future. And he said that before he was the president of the country. Genius making. Things and conditions wanted that to a place, and I saw it myself. Scientists, senior scientists are here in this place where our Emirati youth are having their apprenticeship. They get the education. They get the education, the sciences, the knowledge to be scientists themselves. And that scientist was reassured that he will continue to be with us, even if you teach our children. But if you want to go, it's up to you. But otherwise, we will never relinquish you, will not give you up. You will stay with us and will allow you to live with us as much as you want. So this scientist, this will give everything he has to the student because his future is ensured. Mohammed bin Zayed is a leader who is reassuring officials that we will never get rid of you. What we want is that you enable our children and give them the sciences, the knowledge to make them a genius. So Mohammed bin Zayed planned to graduate scientists in somewhere here in the country, in the capital, and they are working, and I saw them myself, and I saw the scientist and the Emirati student who is being taught by that scientist. So we are before a man different, and we'll talk about this later on. Was that all? that we are having scientists to teach our children? No, that wasn't all. He established Mohammed bin Zayed University for Artificial Intelligence. And that was still Crown Prince. I'm just telling you. See the man before he became the president. Officially, of course. In 2019, when he established this university, he was seeing the future. What is that future? Artificial intelligence. Because AI will control everything. Who owns AI, he will be present in the nations. He who doesn't have AI, he'll be invisible. He'll be missed. He'll miss the train. Thus, Mohammed bin Zayed has delivered the future and established a university for artificial intelligence. What does that mean? That you are graduating generations in artificial intelligence. And when you are having such generations, this means you are having a great nation able to manage AI, exploit AI, understand AI, have love for AI, researches for AI. What does Mohammed bin Zayed want out of this? He said oil will end in 50 years. He wanted knowledge-based economy. Otherwise we'll lose, because oil will be run out. So this means he is thinking and planning for post-oil era. We know that oil is now increasing and more prospects and discoveries are made, but this doesn't change because this is not renewable. This means they will run out one day. But Abu Khalid, may God protect him, he wanted to build a knowledge-based economy. When I saw this title, industry sector, I used to tweet on this sector when I saw that. What does Mohammed bin Zayed, Sheikh Mohammed, say about this? His Highness says that this sector is the most important drivers in the coming years to 50 years. This means he put into consideration that the 50 years UAE will be, in the UAE 50 years, UAE will be an industrial nation. Why? Because in 50 years, after 50 years, it will not be depending on oil. So it must be based on industry, not any industry. No, not any industry, fabric, textile, or any easy things. No, he now focusing on great industries that are becoming to UAE. So he focused on this, which is very important, to be that UAE, that in 50 years will be an industrial nation, which is something not easy to achieve, but with the will of such a leader, such as Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed, with his tenacity and will, we will get where we want. Because he doesn't, he is able to follow. He is not a man of words only. He is a man of actions. That's what we know about him. Even when we were with him in the armed forces, till now, if we characterized the man and thought of his journey, he is a follow-up person. While preparing for this simple lecture, I remembered the time where Baghdad was flourishing and Baghdad was full of scientists. Mohammed bin Zayed, if we see him in his gatherings, he hosts scientists and he sits with the audience following the lecturer carefully. I say he enacted an example. He made an example. He made an example. In the past, we said we had such a thing, but during times of flourishing of cities such as Baghdad, but to have a governor, a leader, having a gathering where youth are called and scientists are giving lectures to listen to these scientists. And Mohammed bin Zayed is just listening to the scientists. What does that mean? He wants to create a generation respecting knowledge, science, to create culture, to make them and to give them the power and to give them the example about where to go. In my opinion, I believe many would say, don't listen to this academic because he doesn't do anything, just a man of words. For example, he is talking about economy, but he is poor. Professor in economy, but he is poor. This means he is not a man of action. So just listening to him is a waste of time because he's a man of words. So look at Mohammed bin Zayed. He says, there are some people who are good at talking, but they are not at work. Others are good at work, but they are not good at words and talking. But there are others who are good at both talking and actions. Mohammed bin Zayed listens and apply. He takes knowledge from the lecturer. He takes the ideas and then he starts actions. This man made his gathering, his majlis, a university-like. If you don't attend such or follow, they can't, of course, invite everyone, but I wish that every official to follow these lectures which are available on the majlis of Mohammed bin Zayed because it has momentum of great knowledge and deep information. Thus, we are before a leader who believes in the importance of science and education, not only in building a university, but even the graduates, even the dialogues, even the culture should be scientific, respecting science. What does Sheikh Mohammed say? He says, I want to make UAE a landmark in advanced technology. What does that mean? That the more we advance, the more that time advances, we will catch up. This obsession, Sheikh Abu Khalid has, Sheikh Mohammed has, this obsession, this passion he has, is something that I highly and hold on a pedestal, because his obsession is to make UAE, to make his state a landmark in advanced technology. The phrase has great weight and implications that we should be conscious of. He wants the country, UAE, to have its own position in the future. Clean energy. Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed also is interested in clean energy for the future. Today we are using energy, but unclean, impure energy. This is a priority for Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed's future agenda. Also, he implanted the patriotism in the younger generations. I tweeted actually on Twitter. I have a few tweets on this even before Sheikh Mohammed becomes president. Mohammed bin Zayed, in my tweets, insisted on national service for youngs, and he was right. Today, we have the eighth batch have graduated. Now UAE now is bigger with the 8th batch. He also, His Highness, laid the foundation, and he dotted the I's and crossed the T's through implanting patriotism in the Emirati generation. Swayhan seen yesterday was really majestic with the graduation of the 8th batch of the national service. These are some of my tweets. So this national service just consolidated the creed of patriotism in our citizens. But do you think that because I am a military, I'm just following this aspect? No, many countries have cited this aspect. Just an extract. The Economic Times, the Indian Economic Times, praised Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed as wise, competence, and leadership, as one of modernist inside and a person close to his people, charismatic character from diplomats. He was very careful for the promotion of Abu Dhabi through motivating, activating, and taking care of technological infrastructure and energy. And even when he was a deputy supreme commander of the armed forces, he transformed UAE's army into one of the strongest armies in the Arab world, according to experts who from adopting and approving the national service, that was the reason for and the purpose of implanting patriotism in the Emirati generations. I remember when it started. I am 52 years now in service. Now we have 7 years or 6 years maybe in the military service, around this number. So 40 years ago, there were people who were trying to launch national service, but that was hesitant. But when it came into the hands of Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed, and he was in the position of decision making, he made the decision and followed it. And everybody was hesitant about this. But Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed took the decision and applied it. Sheikh Khaled decided, and today we have young citizens in the national service and become a national duty. And Sheikh Abu Khaled could put his signature on in nation service. So the national service, we are now in batch 16. And he made a strong army, one of the strongest in the Arab world. Military spirit also is implanted in the younger generations. But he also launched in a call for peace, tolerance on the Arab, regional, and international levels. So he wasn't readying on the military and army level. Now he is seeking to create international peace as much as possible. Mighty efforts are put in this arena. Consequently, we are before a leader where he believes in national service, is on full stake, and on the other hand, he is promoting peace. Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed, also his ability to manage crises, risks with full ability, and that's easy because he has the expertise. Mohammed bin Zayed was young in the army, armed forces, and with the years he acquired all these skills and abilities that we are witnessing manifested in his leaderships and unique leadership. Why do I say unique? Mohammed bin Zayed is a human. He has deep human feeling. Look at this picture. That is, this picture is worth millions of words. Millions of words. His Royal Highness Mohammed bin Salman came to Expo, accompanied by Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed. A girl extended her hand to shake hands. Mohammed bin Zayed saw the girl who wanted to shake hands, or who is shaking hands with Mohammed bin Salman. But on the left there was a girl he didn't see, and her hand was also extended, and they walked past her. When he was on the news, he saw that, and that girl wasn't seen. For God's sake, let's be honest. Whether inside this hall or outside, if it was me or you, and this girl was extending her hand, and I am a crown prince, if I do my best, just call that girl and apologize because I didn't see them, and give her a kiss on my part. But Abu Khalid, may God protect him, he drove his car and went to her house, kiss her head, and to apologize because he did not see her, and have a souvenir photo with the family. This is a leader leading our country. So what do you think of this man with such morality? Will he never let us down? No, God forbids, never. God will protect him. God will be always on his side, because God and the Prophet have praised morals, and when someone is having such high moral standards, God will give him success, support. So in summary, dignitaries, excellencies, UAE's leadership under the leadership of my master Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed, UAE will continue, as I expect, its golden age. Just remember this word. Now we are at the beginning of the golden age of UAE. And you will remember what I say now. You will remember what I say in this sitting, this lecture, that we are ushered into the golden age before a leader, with a leader who experienced life, courageous in managing and facing risks and crises. He has the knowledge, the technology, the will, the power to achieve the ambitions of our country and to hold and occupy our positions. He looks at peace, tolerance as a way to achieve peace, security on the international level, believes in the importance of a knowledge-based economy, and he also that the most important drivers for economy in the coming 50 years is industry. For this reason, the future of UAE on the industrial level, I think, will be at the highest and the top priorities for on the agenda of His Highness. He has deep human feelings, and that's it. And God, thank God, and only success is, and God is the sustainer and the granter of success. I may late Sheikh Khalifa's soul rest in peace and dwell in heaven with the prophets, truthful and righteous, and may God give success and support and guide His Highness Sheikh Mohammed for what he desires. All thanks, Your Excellency, for this important and valuable lecture. During this few minutes, we have seen the journey, deep journey of the late Sheikh Khalifa empowerment phase, and you shed light on all the topics, whether economic, political, social, others, and it was indeed many landmarks related to empowerment, and I stand with you, agree with you that after Mohammed bin Zayed has referred to late Sheikh Khalifa as a leader of empowerment, now we are taking heed of this word and all these empowerment topics in the future. As you said, Your Excellency, with this humanity, a great soul experience, home love, so we have to be optimistic about the future. The golden age is coming. We have a leader who is thinking in 50 years ahead. So this leadership will be the establisher of golden age. In many countries, we notice that there is a president, the prime minister, and sometimes they have skirmishes and the problems, and instead of they move to the future and developing the future, we had such problems. Today, Your Excellency, we have Mohammed bin Zayed as a president of UAE, Mohamed bin Rashid as a vice president of the country, prime minister. This combination for this love and harmony between these two figures, His Highness Mohammed bin Rashid, who always seek number one and would not accept anything else, and he would always refer to His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed as the leader, and we will always be behind him, and expressed allegiance even before meeting with him. So this mutual and friendly relation between these two charismatic leaders, what do you think of this? How will this translate? Yesterday we were talking in Abu Dhabi in some gatherings. We are a nation that obey the ruler. This doesn't mean that we don't express our opinions. No, we express our opinions and we talk to the ruler. And for example, late Sheikh Zayed Majlis, Mohammed bin Zayed Majlis, late Sheikh Rashid Majlis, they would allow citizens to express their opinions. But disobeying the ruler is not accepted here. I discuss the ruler, yes, but when he takes his decision, I will follow, I will obey. Otherwise, we will get lost. We will be in higgledy-piggledy. Yesterday, we were talking about this, and that is the secret of our success. And this is the secret of our success in UAE, that we are hand in hand, citizens and leaders. Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed will not only create the golden age, no, helping, supporting our leader will help us achieve this. Why does Mohammed bin Zayed, for example, call and promote tolerance and peace? Because he knows that these will create growth that will enable us to reach advanced technology. Wars, fights, chaos will never give us the opportunity to succeed. At the end of this lecture, we'd like to express our gratitude for His Excellency Lieutenant General Dahi Khalfan, Deputy Chief of Police and General Security in Dubai, and many thanks for the attendees. To see you, and hopefully we'll see you soon. Thank you.